What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another spectacular match of the week, live reaction. I am your Colonial Champion, Sean McCarty, and today we have got a fatal four-way match for the Universal Championship, Summerslam 2017. Now, I remember watching this matchup and really enjoying it. I had a great time watching it live at the time, and it was something refreshing. I was really excited to see Samoa Joe getting a title shot, even though we all kind of knew that of the four of those, he was not going to be the one to win it. Strowman was riding high at this point, so a lot of people were behind him. Lesnar, of course, hated, so they did a lot of fun things with that. And Roman Reigns was Roman Reigns, prior to, the actual bloodline and him becoming one of the greatest heels of the long, not MJF heel, but still, different kind of heel, different kind of heel. Anyway, this match ought to be really fun. I kind of feel like this is going to be a little more spot heavy than I'm used to, so I'm expecting that I'm going to not feel as fondly about this match as I did when I watched it at the time. Also, but it also, as it mentions, a good point that wrestling really is a lot, it has to do with context. What the emotions and the tone and the energy was of the fans at the time and what we were looking for and what, in a large part, WWE was very infrequently producing. And this matchup was a very heavy breath of fresh air, I think, in an otherwise rough 2017 that included, but was not limited to, Jinder Mahal's title reign, which was on this show. He faced Shinsuke Nakamura, and they had a match that was still probably Jinder's best before AJ Styles got a hold of him, and then AJ put him into a pretty good match. And then, the rest is history. And I feel bad for Jinder because he got hurt so often. But as was evidenced in that match with Drew. So we have this fatal four-way match, which was on a kind of a lackluster show. It was really, as with most WWE shows, a one-match card. And this was that match. This was the match that everybody came out of looking really enthusiastic about. So I know we're going to have a lot of ads in this. I have no doubt that we're going to have ads in this. But bear with me. This is going to be a fun time. For those of you wondering, by the way, the opera stuff is done. That's over. So now I have a little more time to dedicate. And now that I have a little more time to dedicate to taking care of business every day, taking care of business every way, we're going to try and get a little more of these live streams in because they seem to be the popular thing. Speaking of, at the time of the release earlier today of the Court-Martail podcast, that was recorded last week. As of this morning, we had broken 100 subscribers. So I want to say thank you to absolutely every one of you who have been subscribing, liking, sharing, switching that bell button all so you get all things CMP brought right to your doorstep. And we are not planning to stop there. We got a lot further to go. I'm very excited for what CMP is going to bring. We've got a lot of new things coming. I do still have the Rebooking Wrestling Calamity series that is going to be coming up at some point. I just got to record it and get it finished. And once it's recorded and finished, boom goes the dynamite. Onto the channel it goes. But until then, we are going to be going back into our regular schedule of releases just so we can get things more to you and more of the entertainment that you have loved and you have shown your appreciation therein by subscribing to us. So thank you very much for all of your support. And we look forward to the next 100 and the next 100 and the next 100 and more from there. But until then, let's sit back. Let's watch this. I did already put, I believe, in the comment section, but it doesn't look like it registered because why would it have? But I will do this once again. Maybe if I do it live, that will set straight. There we go. Now, that should do it. So in the description of this video, you should find the link to this matchup because it should still be there. In the link to this actual live chat, you can also find it because I popped it right there. But for now, let's take a look at this. I'm excited to get it going. We're going to start at 000. I'm just going to pop this up and pop it back. I'm sure we're going to get ads. I wonder if they're going to give me one right now because it's been on for so long. Let's see. Nope, they didn't. All right, so here we go. At the beginning, the way I'm going to do this. Oh, by the way, one little thing. I'm sure you can't see. There's no light coming in this way, so you can only see half my face. The reason is my light broke, and I'm very sad about it. But I'm going to bring out an old lamp, and hopefully I'll be able to pop that in there so the next time you see this, it will not be so dependent on the television light. It will be more dependent on that light so you can actually see my bright and shining face, which it is all the time. Now, here we go. I'm going to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. When I say go and I point my finger, click your play button. I'll click my play button. And then I will give you timestamps after every ad, which usually happens right around 4 minutes at a time. So we're looking at 5 ads in this video. So just prepare yourselves. It is going to get a little jank, but we will make it happen. And here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Oh, we're actually going to have to listen to the in-ring announcements, the introductions. Universal Championship had not earned any reputation at this point. Yeah, Braun was... This wasn't peak Braun Strowman, but he was getting up there. He was definitely getting there. Back when babyface Roman Reigns was getting the shit boot out of him, which was almost constant. Oh, and here comes Paulus Hamus. My name is Paul Heyman. Yep, you can't deny this. It worked. It's it's just a shame that this is the Reigns and Lesnar is happening at Crown Jewel. It's just a shame. This poor referee. No disqualification, no countouts, of course, because it's fatal 4-way. So, oh yes, Corey Graves, the gravest Corey. Now here, this is gonna be it. I remember really enjoying this matchup. I thought there was pretty good stories told, but let's see. Oh, and now we're going straight into a brawl. Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar. Oh, yes, the Great Balls of Fire. That was also 2017, but their match with Great Balls of Fire was actually pretty good, if I recall. Reigns and Lesnar. God, you can even see the youth in Roman Reigns right now. I don't feel like his jawline is a lot sharper now. It's like his face is thinned out a little bit. It's so funny. The fans are cheering when he Germans Reigns and booing when he Germans Joe, proving just how fickle these people are. Now, this is always Jim Cornette's issue with this, is that these 4-ways are always conducive to people just waiting and watching things happen in the ring, which is kind of what you see here. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like that as much. Michael Cole and Corey Graves. It may be my least favorite WWE pairing of all time. Well, I don't know. Heel Michael Cole in any facet is pretty bad. It's really bad. Oh, collar and elbow tie up right as they start to see some action, of course. All right, so we got a 6-second unskippable. That's not bad. And the thing with the emu. You know what I'm talking about. All right, we are at 4 minutes and 5 seconds. 406, 407, 408, 409, 410. Big clothesline to Brock Lesnar. Down he goes. And this is before the choo-choo noises. Chugga-lugga-lugga. Ooh, ooh. Chugga-lugga-lugga. Back when they actually kind of knew what they were doing with Braun Strowman. Before they decided to just kill his momentum. Oh, cue the barricade spot. I already, and of course we have the mandatory table spot coming up. Although it is, oh, and it's right here. There it is. Oh, but it did not break. Jesus. Well, this is definitely a Haas fight match. Oh my God! Everything that Michael Cole says sounds rehearsed. I think that's probably why I hate the show so much, most of the time, because it's like everything sounds so rehearsed. And you got to give credit to Lesnar here because Brock did a really good job of selling that he was in a bad way here. You got to give it to Lesnar. He's always done business. Oh, yes, the big power slam into the table. That was when they were really getting the power slam over. Because that was the only thing he could do. And now he's going to Impact, so that should be fun. Brown snowstorm. And the drive-by from Roman Reigns, and God, people really hated his guts then. Forget how good the angle was on that, though, just to catch the moment where Joe ran and caught that forearm. That's also a really nice one. Heyman urging Brock to get up. It's not very often you get a fatal four-way Haas fight like this. So there is something special to this, even if you're not a big fan of. Oh my God, I forgot about the chair. Oh, I forgot about the heave of the chair. It's a shame that Peacock blurs out anything thrown at anybody else. Because holy Christ, that was funny. But there is a magic to this. There is a magic to these shows. And to this big fatal four-way Haas fight. Oh, right. Powerbomb through the second table. And I like how all the commentators are just basically almost chilling in the audience. JBL's like, I want my hat back. I don't think. See, I feel like the referee calling in for help is not a good call at this point. Because why would you need more referees after that point? I don't know. Here comes another ad. Another 6-second unskippable. At least they're quick. We're getting 2 of them. And a 15-second skippable. So, and we're going to skip. We are 805, 806, 807, 808, 809, 810. That was a big power slam. Big old power slam. One more table. Saying get him on the third. And I think they actually, oh no, he just, oh right, he lifts the table up. This was, of course, after the truck, so this was in no way anywhere near as impressive. Yes, the pinning. Yes, and the fans are going nuts for this. It's a shame that that announce table looks like it's made out of like half-inch ply, which it probably is. Paul Heyman selling it like Lesnar was just thrown off the Empire State Building. Adam Pearce is here. They're now calling in for a well-to manicured EMT. Yeah, they would not just roll him over like that. They're like, see, if he was really hurt, they wouldn't just like immediately put him on the stretcher and haul him out there like they're pancakes for getting cold. Because I always laugh at how fast the EMTs work at lifting bodies up onto stretchers. Like there's no medical check at all. It's just like body stretcher now. Get him on the stretcher. I don't care if his neck's broken. Stretcher. There's oh, it just cracks me up. Here, let me put a seatbelt on him. And I love how he's just going to magically sprout back to life. Oh, Booger T. Yep. Can't show it. Can only see it when it's live. Oh, God. Peacock. You're killing me. You'll show every football hit. You'll show every football tackle that'll concuss somebody, but you won't show a protected shot with a piece of tin foil, which is basically used as steel. Yep. This is the Peacock era of professional wrestling. Oh, another ad. Another ad. Go glass blowing or something. It's another unskippable 6 second. Another unskippable 6 second. This one is for a movie? Yes. 12 minutes. 6-7, 12:08, 12:09, 12:10. God, they're blocking every shot. This is excruciating. Why, though? That's what I hate about. This is what I knew would happen with this Peacock deal. I knew that they would just end up doing this kind of Belushi. Oh, inverted atomic drop. And a boot. And a senton. Using his noodle. Booker T. Using that big piece of angel hair to slither his way into a victory. You dig, dog? Dig? Oh, Uragi? Oh, went for a Uragi. Counter. That was not that good of a Samoan drop. He tightened that Samoan drop up a lot in recent years. That did not look too great. You know, you almost wonder why they kept him vested for so long, because I think that that's part of the problem. I think he just didn't change his look for the longest time, and I think that was part of the issue. The rear naked joke. The joke is Strawn Strowman. You know, I do kind of miss that reverse choke slam that Strowman was doing for a while. Oh. Did Strowman get busted open? Yeah, it looks like I forgot that Strowman got a little juice here. Huh. I did not remember that. Now they're laying out this moment. And we know that Lesnar's going to come back here. See, I forgot that they wheeled him out, and that's kind of one of my big problems with WWE with angles like that, because they don't let any of these moments breathe. And why would he come back out that way too? You know, I don't know. This is another one of those times where it just makes you think, oh, go ahead and rest a little bit and then come back. I don't think that's worth doing in these situations, because then now, oh, all of a sudden he has a ton of energy and he's fine. So they couldn't necessarily be that worried about his injuries, especially how fast they hauled him off. So you lose a lot of the illusion of the angle you're trying to get out. And especially because this is Brock Lesnar we're talking about. And if you wanted to sell Strowman as that intimidating a beast, then you would have actually done this angle where Lesnar really was incapacitated. But that wasn't what you were trying to do here. And now another ad. Right as we're getting another 6-second unskippable. Okay. Still lucked out. We lucked out. And we have another 6-second unskippable. And it's for the same movie. 1605, 1607, 1608, 1609, 1610. Clothesline. I could see Lesnar's underwears. Got the Kimura lock, and Braun not selling that very well at all. Looked like he was trying to pass a fart. That was not really that good a sell. Ooh, here comes Roman Reigns. That wasn't his best spear. God, the place would have booed so hard if Roman Reigns had won that. Although Roman Reigns really wasn't in 2017 he wasn't really world titling that much, as he shouldn't have been. They did know when they needed to take some time and work on Roman Reigns, to be fair. And it didn't work all the time. We can definitely recognize that it didn't work a lot of the time. But going for another ooh-ah. You know, the only issue I have with this match right now is I feel like it actually went longer than it should have, because they did that whole Roman Reigns bit before. Or not Roman Reigns. They did the whole the ambulance angle that they just completely reneged on, like not even 10 minutes later. If they just skipped all of that and just had Lesnar down and then just gotten to this part where Lesnar got back up, it just would have been better. And yeah, this is more of a spot fest than it is anything else, but Oh, that was cool though. That was a cool one. that was also kind of a cool moment. But no, third woo-wah. Then just the laziest boot to counter that. And this was going long, and I think the fans are starting to feel that it was going long as well. God, Paul Heyman, everything that Paul Heyman does is fantastic. Just walking around, holding his hands up here, just you feel it. You feel the concern, you feel the worry. And another ad, and yet another ad. That's ad number 5, by the way. We called that. Now it's a 5-second skip. Well, it's a 15-second skip. We're at 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. And 2010. God, there was so little margin of error for that spear to actually drop Lesnar flat. Reigns nailed exactly where he needed to hit Braun Strowman so that did not hurt Brock Lesnar. Now Joe going for the clutch on Lesnar. And I feel like Joe didn't get nearly as many shots in here as everybody else did. You know, he definitely does feel like the fourth man in this one. Oh, I miss Joe. And there's still quite a few false finishes left here because this is, this is that part of the Fatal 4-Way when they all just exchange finishers and near falls. It's not that I don't like these matches. It's just that I've seen these matches so many times, and the way that WWE formats them, they're pretty formulaic. That's right. Michael Cole says shades of WrestleMania a few years ago. This is before they faced each other 2 more times. Or 1 more time. But I bet you they will have a third. Gonna get a 4th ooh-ah. Is he gonna ooh the ah? His teeth do look a lot better, though, I will say. And then just an F5 to Roman Reigns, and that's it, right? Yeah. Where everybody else went is anybody's guess. Because it wasn't like they got slammed with other finishers. Yep. I mean, it was still great. I mean, that match definitely did slow down. That match definitely slowed down. And the fans definitely slowed down. You know, I think that we were just, there was nothing else on that show that was any good. So by the time we got to this, we're like, oh, reprieve, something decent. You know, that's kind of the way that I feel this went down. And it's not to say that this match was bad. Honestly, there are a lot of matches. There are a lot of Fatal 4-Ways that go by a lot less fun than this and a lot more boring than this. But there were things that they could have cut out. I think the whole injury angle with Lesnar, They did not need to do any of that. If they had just buried him on, they had buried him on top and just had him down there, and Paul Heyman's freaking out, and the referee should not have been called for that. I'm sorry. The referee should not have called reinforcements. That was not the time for that. Because you already, how do I put this? I know this is going to sound kind of strange, but hear me out, because I know this is kind of a hypocritical opinion. WWE does not shy away from the fact that it is a scripted television program, right? That it's not a wrestling show. They're very clear in their depiction of what it is they are. So if you already know, under this illusion umbrella, that all of it's a work, why would you go through the lengths of doing an injury angle to try to, like with the hospitalization and the ambulance and the EMTs, why would you do that to sell an actual legitimate injury only to have him come back and look fine? And with how fast that they moved through that, it made it look even more preposterous than it already was. But if you had kept that and said, for the rules of the match, we're not stopping it for anything, we're not going to try to help anybody, this is no disqualification. They said it themselves, no disqualification. So Braun Strowman topples that thing over, and then maybe the referees take the thing off. But they leave Lesnar there. Because there was no pulse check, there was no body injuries check. They didn't ask how he was doing. It was just, okay, everybody, come on out. It's your time to come out and look scared. And then all the referees come out and they go, okay, MTs, it's time for you to haul this ass out of here as fast as you possibly can so we can have him run around the arena and come back in 5 minutes time. It's just, why go through all of that? We already know it's a work, so don't, and you're very clear at establishing that what your show is a work, because I've long said I like to suspend my disbelief in my wrestling. But in order to do that, I've got to make it's got to feel like they're trying at least to suspend that disbelief. WWE is very overt at not doing that. So if you're going to run with that kind of format, then these angles aren't necessary, especially if you're going to just throw them away within 10 minutes of doing them, back when they were used, and somebody who was put on an ambulance and put on a stretcher and carted off, you wouldn't see them for weeks, months even, to sell that injury. They'd be gone. They don't do that anymore. And now just in the, you're expecting me to believe that this guy was hauled out and then magically recovered in 10 minutes, enough to go back, and a whole bunch of authority figures who apparently have no balls are like, oh no, Brock, no, stop. If they really wanted to and they really were going to, they were going to stop Brock Lesnar from competing. I'm sorry. It's just, that whole line of thinking is preposterous in today's wrestling, and even in 2017's wrestling. And I feel like that it hurt the match. This match was good for a four-way. For a four-way hoss fight, there was definitely some magic to it. Braun Strowman heaving the chair, I forgot about that. That made me laugh. And so there's definitely good to this, right? I'm not saying this was a bad match at all, but there's certain things that I would have done differently. And then, of course, the final part where it's just the whole finisher fest and the false finishes, which the fans had kind of already seen coming, and it did deflate the match. It just went long. It just went a little too long for what four hosses like this should do, and that's why the ending, I think, felt as flat as it did. So that's just my piece on it. We'll get to talk about it a little bit more at the end of this week, either on Friday or Saturday, or maybe even Sunday, depending on how things go. But somewhere in that vicinity, you're going to get this quality program. Until that time, I am your Colonial Champion, Sean McCarty. Thank you very much for joining along with me to watch this match of the week, and we will see you next time, everybody. See you later. Take care, everybody. As soon as I press the button, which is right here. Okay, goodbye.